So another tool that I really love, this time looking at feedback, is mail merge. So what mail merge allows me to do is it allows me to do the same thing for every entry in a spreadsheet, basically. Data shouldn't be such a big part of teaching, but it is a huge part of teaching. And you'll spend a lot of your time working with spreadsheets. And learning to do that really well can be really can add a lot of value. So let's say you've just got the data in, you've all marked into a collective spreadsheet as a department, and now it's time to give that feedback to everybody all at the same time. So this skill is probably particularly relevant if you're in a leadership position. But honestly, I found it very relevant as a classroom teacher. So I use this probably more when I was a classroom teacher than I did when I was head of department, just because it allows me to give every single student an individualized piece of feedback. And the way that students respond to that kind of individualized feedback is they value it a lot more. So here I have the same data that we worked on in the seating plan example. I am just going to write a letter to everybody in this database telling them how they did on paper 1 and paper 2. Spring EL is Spring Extended Learning, so this is basically an additional session that they will either be invited to or not invited to, depending on how they've done. So this is also a pretty useful piece of data to put out by mail merge, because what this is going to say is, you did this, therefore you will be either going to the extended learning or not. So we, just create a new document, save it, and then dear, and already I'm going to want to address them directly. So now I need to connect this. So I need to use Mailings tab, select recipients, use an existing list because this data already exists. I need to find this bit of data here, which is an interesting question because I'm not sure I know exactly where it is. So let's try and find it. Context sheet. Okay, there it is. Okay, this is the full data, so I'm on the right one. And yes, my first column is a header column, i.e. it's got the titles in it. So, right, now the data is connected. I am going to insert a merge field, and the field I want is name. Now, if you are getting nervous at any point and you want to just check that your mail merge is working, we can click preview results. Now you see that the first individual in my spreadsheet is Jude, and when I preview results, I'm getting those good results, right? I'm getting the names I'm expecting. So this is working. And the data is connected and I can just write. So did Jude, well done for your hard work on your recent assessment. And then at this point, maybe I want to give them their paper 1 total, paper 2 total, and overall total. And find attached your your total grades for each paper. And I'm going to insert a table because that's a logical way of seeing this data. So we have paper 1, paper 2, and total, and then it's literally same old thing. Insert paper 1, insert paper 2, and insert your total like that. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say to So I want to tell them that whether they're going to be invited to Spring EL. Now, the problem is, if you look at the data, it just says yes. And so I'm not sure how I'm going to merge that into this sheet, because really what I want to say is you will be invited or you will not be invited. So actually, I know how I'm going to do that. You will be invited to extended learning this half term, like this, and I just need to replace each yes with you will be invited to extended learning this half term, because remember, if it's not in the database, if it's not in my spreadsheet, I can't actually put it in into my letter. So extended learning, and actually you will not, I'll need a you will not as well. You will not be invited to extended learning this half term. So this it's not quite as clean as I was hoping when I started this video, but hopefully it's giving you a sense of what I would actually be doing when I'm doing these mail merges to students. So anybody who isn't invited, I do need to specify that because I want a letter that's going to go to everybody. So extended learning, in response to your performance on the assessment, and at this point I'm now going to insert Spring EL like this. Okay. Good luck in your revision. Good luck in your revision this term. Kind regards. Tabo Miles Matley, head of computer science. Now, obviously, I would have an actual email sign off, but I'm just really trying to give you a full sense of what this is going to look like. Now, let's take a look at our email. Okay, so you can see I've made a mistake. I've left the yes in. Have I left it in all of them? No, I've only made that mistake for the first one. Have I even made that mistake for the first one? You will be invited to extended learning this half term. Okay, they've all got capital. They've all got capital Y's, so actually I'll just leave this out. And listen, is it perfect? No. Is it good enough to get started and give students that feedback? Yes. Will they notice that it's been mail merged together? No. In my experience, they always think this has been sent to them and them only. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So everybody's getting their own letter, and now I can move forwards. Now, if you were looking to send this via email, what you would need to do is you need to have the old copy of Outlook open. You would need to send email messages. You would need their email address in the spreadsheet, which I've not done because these people are anonymized. But that's how you would do it. And then you'd have a subject line, results and extended learning, like this. So this is how you would do it. However, just because you're not sending an email doesn't mean you can't create a record. And what you can do is you can print out the documents, an individualized document for each person. So I'm going to do it for everybody. And you can do it, and you can literally do this hard copy, but I'm just going to, for example, do it to PDF. So I'm going to print out a PDF with everybody in this list. So let's print that PDF, put it in documents, extended learning. Let's save that, and now it's just going to create a copy for each individual. Let's get that open so you can see that it's actually happened, rather than you just taking my word for it. And here we are. So if this was an email, they'd each have received this email, but as it stands, what has happened is I've printed to PDF each piece of data for each individual student. And I hope you can see how powerful this might be. Your spreadsheet could have 500 Key Stage 3 students in it, and I'm going to create an individualized feedback document for every single one. And it is going to make them feel special and valued, and I promise you they will respond to the feedback better than if you had done it in a less personalized way. So yeah, that is how to send a mail merge for feedback.